heter Gabriele Jannacaro. Jag är professor I italienska med språkvetenskaplig inriktning vid Romanska och Klassiska institutionen. I work mainly in the field of social linguistics and ethnolinguistics, which is broadly how language and culture are connected. My principal concerns are centered on multilingualism, language contact, and endangered or minority communities and languages. You can say that I try to understand how a multilingual society works. I lead the working package of a huge European project called MIME, which is Mobility and Inclusion in a Multilingual Europe. And we assume that mobility and inclusion are not incompatible, but they do not necessarily converge. What we try to understand is there a possibility to have both more mobility in the European Union and more inclusion. That's because more mobility may compromise inclusion and cohesion of society, of the recipient society, of course, and a focus just on inclusion may hinder mobility. Well, normally I carry out research with both qualitative and quantitative methods. Our biggest poll for the moment was carried out in eastern Latvia with more or less 10,000 interviewees, so quite a large survey. These maps show an index, a variation index, which comes from mainly three questions. Which language do you speak with your grandparents? Which language do you speak with your partner? And which languages do you speak with your children or young people in general? We put them together in a mathematical way, and we obtain curves that tells us if the language is improving, the language use is improving, or if the language is being abandoned, or if the language is recovering after a fall, maybe in the second generation, and so on and so forth. This map can be useful for the government of Latvia to understand how things are going at the border of the region called Latgalia. If they really want to protect Latgalian, they have to make to put attention of the Russian border, because Russian is gaining way towards Latgalian, and they should pay attention of the fact that Latvian from the northwest here is entering into the society. I'm really concerned with the practical aspect of these things, which is giving advice to public administration and to provide hints, scientific but also very practical hints to sustain minority languages. Well, preserving a minority language in a society is important mainly for two reasons. The first one is that languages are unique, and if you lose a language, then you lose a particular interaction between brain and behavior, which is lost forever. It's like you lose little pieces of a collective brain of humanity. On the other side, it's important to realize that multilingualism do exist. And if we learn how to deal with it in the best possible way, the better it is for society. For instance, we are confronted with people arriving and having different languages from the ones which are employed in the societies. And if we want to avoid conflict or prejudice towards people speaking other languages, we have to understand how these mechanisms go and how it works that we link identity issues to languages. Jag heter Gabriele Jannacaro, jag är professor of italiensk, I italiensk. Okay.
That's a keeper.